Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Afterfauve. And those of you who have watched the vlog for any length of time will remember that Afterfauve always has the most interesting questions, and today is no exception. And Afterfauve writes with these two questions. First, can an animal be an ancestor? And secondly, can a pet who has crossed over serve as a spirit guide? To answer the first question, historically speaking, there have been tribes and clans and families and individuals who have in fact looked upon a particular animal as an ancestor and treated it rather as a tutelary deity. When this occurs, it's not usually a particular animal, but rather the spirit of that kind of animal that is their patron. And they feel that their family, their lineage, their tribe is infused with the energy which that animal represents. So it's a little bit different than when we talk about human ancestors, but historically there certainly are occasions when this has been a point of view. It's not one you encounter too often at present, because usually when people do that they speak of their totem animal, but it's really the same basic idea. Once again, they believe that they embody the spirit of that animal, the energy of that animal, and that it is part of their nature. Not necessarily that they're physically descended from it. Now, as to the second question, can a pet that has crossed over serve as a spirit guide? Well, on occasion, yes. But of course, it obviously depends on the kind of relationship you had with the pet when it was living. If it was a familiar, if it was a pet that you interacted with in a metaphysical manner, then yes, its spirit can continue to do that after it has crossed over. And there are people who will have this experience. Is it a terribly common experience? Well, in my opinion, no, not extremely. But it does happen and you do encounter it. And it's been my experience that when this does happen and you interact with the spirit of the animal who has crossed over, it will express itself in a variety of different ways, including as it was in life, but it can also take human form and communicate as any other spirit guide would, because of course the soul is energy and therefore is not bound by any one physical form and can express itself in whatever way it wishes. So if you are in fact interacting with a familiar who has crossed over, they can take a number of different forms to interact with you as a spirit that are different from what they were like in the physical, but their nature of course would still be the same. So yes, it is entirely possible for a pet that has crossed over to act as a spirit guide if the nature of your relationship with the animal was the sort that would make this appropriate. And again, they can express themselves in a much wider range as a spirit than they could in their physical form, and so you may find that the relationship expands considerably if in fact you find yourself in a situation where your deceased pet is acting as a spirit guide. So those would be my thoughts on the matter. I hope you find them helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from witchschool.com. Are you looking for the best in pagan and magical education? With more than 12,000 pages, witchschool.com is like having your own personal library with individual learning assistants to help you study. And Witch School's Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere education system is available any place on Earth, anywhere you are and anytime you want it, as long as you have an internet connection. Witch School's lifetime memberships are a great value. They really do last a lifetime. They've been there for years and they'll be there for years to come. So get your membership today at witchschool.com.